You're live with Lucy Hockings. Parts of flood-ravaged Nigeria are bracing for more heavy rain as the country experiences some of its worst flooding in over a decade. These pictures show you the scale of the disaster on the ground. 31 out of the country's 36 states have been affected. The death toll from the disaster has risen now to more than 500 since the flooding began in July, and about 1.4 million people have been displaced. Let's take you live to Lagos. We can join the BBC's Azizat Alolaoluwa. Very good to see you, Azizat. Can you just update us on the picture across the country? How bad are things right now?
Well, the situation is very bad. It's been a period of tears, pain and grief for over 1.4 million affected victims of the flooding across the country. About 31 states are affected out of 36 states of the federation. And the federal government says that at least 500 people are dead, 90,000 houses damaged, hectares of land as well across the country affected, and crops washed away, which is making the International Monetary Fund say that the country could face a worsening food insecurity that could lead to the hike in the prices of food items, although the Minister of Agriculture is saying that there is no cause for alarm.
Azizat, how much aid is managing to get through to people who need it?
So because most of the affected states did not really prepare essentially for this magnitude of flood disaster they're experiencing at the moment, they are grappling with supporting those affected. So the National Emergency Management Agency and their state affiliations are supporting victims of flooding. Some of them have been taken to internally displaced camps and some resettlement camps as well. But some of these victims are complaining, and they told the BBC that they are worried about the health of their children and their pregnant women who are falling sick because, some of them had to, go through the murky waters to get to safety. The children are falling sick, like I said, and the amount of supplies they are getting are limited and not getting around to everybody in some of these respective camps. And in a state like Anambra in southeastern Nigeria, the IDP camps are also inundated by flood water. So it paints a picture of double jeopardy for people that are even trying to get to safety.
And the bad news is, I hear there is more rain to come. This is nowhere near over yet.
Absolutely. So Nigeria has been experiencing what is tagged a very intense rainfall in a shorter duration. And add to that the number of multiple dams, inland reservoirs that have overspilled their content in the country, talking about Shiroro Jeba and another dam, and then the Lagdo Dam from Cameroon as well. And according to the National NIMET Agency, Nigeria Meteorological Services, they are saying that more flooding are expected, to sweep across the country, and more people could still be affected. And in fact, it rained just a few minutes ago where I am in Lagos.
And Azizat, are people talking about climate change, blaming climate change for this unprecedented flooding?
Yes, indeed, they are blaming climate change. And the agency I mentioned earlier, NIMET, said that although the country is getting to the peak of the rainy season, even though it spilled over the period it was expected to rain, and like I said, it's still raining in Lagos, this is affecting how things are panning out in the country. More rains are being experienced across Nigeria, and there is a cause for worry that the government may not be equipped enough to handle the aftermath of all of this flooding and raining season.
Azizat, very good to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Nigeria being hit by some of the worst flooding that they've seen now in over a decade. And as Azizat was saying, there is more rain to come, so a huge amount of concern right across Nigeria. Do stay with us. In 5 minutes' time, we will have a special programme for you on Ukraine, what recent developments mean for the war there, the threat of escalation after the barrage of missiles we've seen being fired into Ukraine over the past few days. We'll be looking at what weapons Ukraine still needs, what weapons Russia has right now, and how this is all affecting people inside the country. So stay with us for that.